This presentation is brought to you by Smoooth Productions.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Smooth Conversations, where the conversations are always smooth. It is your boy Smoooth, and that is Smooth with 3 O's, y'all. Thanks for tuning in to another show. Appreciate y'all. For those watching for the first time, thank you very much. Been doing this show for over a year, making things happen. Started off with my very first guest, Guy Tory. It was an amazing show. It was an impromptu conversation, and now a year and some change later, still holding things down, doing amazing things. This show is all about getting people's stories told, no matter if they're an actor, if they're models, if they're some, any kind of entrepreneur that they are. I want to get the stories told. We see them on TV, we see them or hear them on the radio, see them on social media, see them on stage. We always see the glitz and the glamour, but never know about the grind, the journey from the time as a kid to what they're doing present day and what they plan on doing down the road. And this is why I have Smooth Conversations. It's all about being transparent, being authentic, and once again, just having two people, maybe more at times, to just enjoy some great conversation. So that's why I have this show. It's been a blessing. It's been my ministry. And tonight, it does not stop. Before I bring in the special guest for the evening, I got to go and do the promo, right? So make sure y'all go ahead and follow Smooth Conversations all across social media. For those watching right now, scan the QR code. Even the special guest, scan the QR code, top left of the screen, and connect with any and all things related to Smooth Productions. For those listening right now on Beat District Radio, just put in Smooth Productions, Smooth with 3 O's, smoothproductions.com. And once again, you will see any and all things. I am a professional DJ, host, drummer. I do clothes, customized apparel. You need a hat done, shirts, hoodies, the whole nine. I got you. Need some visuals done with for photography, videography, drone services. I provide all that as well. Mr. Jack of all trades, and just once again, just doing the things, using my talents that the good Lord has blessed me with. So also go on Smooth Conversations on YouTube. If you're not watching right now, subscribe and click on that bell. Once again, Smooth Conversations, 3 O's and Smooth. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And once again, for those listening or you want to listen in the future, beatdistrictradio.com. Go to the website, beatdistrictradio.com, or download the app on Google Play or the App Store by simply putting in Beat District Radio. We are the only Black-owned radio station in the Loop that's going global, not just here in St. Louis, but internet radio. We have the app. We all over the world, y'all. And we're not just playing just Black music, you know what I'm saying? Or should I say hip hop and R&B. We have the country shows. We have the reggae going. We trying to bring in the rock. We're bringing in house. We're bringing in so many different elements, so many different genres. So you ain't got to say, oh, well, this station just do Black people things. No, we worldwide with this. We doing all the genres, and we showing all the love. And we are very committed to being in the community, doing a lot of big things with Beat District Radio. So go to the website, see what Beat District Radio has in store. We even have a teen radio show. We have teen DJs doing amazing things right now. So we just started back in March of this year, and we're just continuing to grow and expand and do so many things. So shouts out to my Beat District Radio family, so many other podcasts, so many other great DJ radio shows that we have going on. we're growing and getting better and better as the days go by. So that is it with everything I have going on. But I do want to plug one more thing because on August the 10th, not this Sunday, but the following Sunday, my wife and her non-for-profit Girls for Life, also known as G for Will, is having the back to school giveaway. She is celebrating 10 years, y'all, of Girls for Life. Scan the QR code or simply go to eventbrite.com and in the search is put in G for Will or Girls for Life, GIRLZ, the number 4, and then life. And register right now, accepting kids from elementary to seniors in high school. August 10th from 2 to 5 p.m. The back to school giveaway goes down at North County Rec Center, the Leo Wilson Shelter, 2577 Redmond Road, St. Louis, Missouri, 63136. Once again, register not right now, but right now. Gamers Island is going to be outside. They're going to have a lot of activities for the youth, some video games here. Beat District Radio will be out there. Art by Kira. Just so many people are going to be holding things down. It's going to be amazing. Mia's Treats. It's going to be a blast. Should be some great weather. And we're going to all just have a wonderful time as these kids are going back to school. So that is enough for me as of right now in regards to the promo. Once again, like, share, let everyone know Smooth Conversations is going down right now, whether you're watching or you're listening, doing our thing. Speaking of doing the thing, this man here, our special guest, or should I say the special guest of the evening, man, I'm pretty sure y'all have seen him pretty much every day on your phones, on your TV, some way, somehow, as he plays himself in regards to DC on the viral, the most watched comedy skit that you will see on the Kountry Wayne sketches, y'all. He's also a model, actor. He may have done some commercials, some music videos. This is a busy brother, but just from the conversation I already have had with him prior to this show going live, he's a humble guy, and he definitely has the love for the HBCU. Talk about that and so much more with the special guest, the one, the only, Darryl DC Chambers. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Man, doing well. It's a pleasure once again to have you on Smooth Conversations. How has your day been?
Man, well, first and foremost, it's a pleasure to be here. My day has been amazing so far, and I hope that it continues to go that way, man. How about yours, brother?
Hey, same here, man. No complaints when I complain. I got to go ahead and start off with this once again. Thank you for taking time out. But 2025 has been some kind of ride, hasn't it?
Oh man, it has. It has. I feel like each year brings its own ups and downs, its own roller coaster. But man, nevertheless, it's been a blessing. It's been a year of blessings. So hey, I can't complain at all.
Yeah, and yes, we do understand that death happens all the time. But I know last week it was just a whole lot going on, especially with people that we've seen in our lifetime. From Malcolm Jamal Warner, from Ozzy Osbourne, just Hulk Hogan. Some may not like that. I understand, but just so many deaths going on, and to me, just makes you want to continue to just want to appreciate life because next day isn't guaranteed. What are your thoughts on that?
Man, I feel like the next second isn't guaranteed.
Right.
A lot of losses, man, they can be tragic, and I'm one of those people. Like, I grew up watching the Cosby Show. That's actually my favorite show. It's like between that and A Different World, but the Cosby Show was, well, A Different World came from the Cosby Show. So the Cosby Show is like my favorite show of all time. So to see Malcolm Jamal Warner, pass away, man, is definitely, especially in such a tragic way, definitely a major, major loss to our community, to the filming world and to just households everywhere who tuned in and saw him every single day, whether it was on the Cosby Show back in the day, whether it was on Malcolm and Eddie, all of the different shows that he was on, The Resident, and so many different things that he did, man. So my condolences to, his family, friends, loved ones. As far as the Hulk Hogan thing, it's kind of, it's unfortunate what he said. But I grew up seeing Hulk Hogan when I was watching wrestling as a young kid. So, nevertheless, man, it's still condolences, man.
Yeah. And my boy Superman Speed, y'all can catch him on every Friday from 4 to 7 p.m. I'm sorry, 4 to 8 p.m. Beat District Radio. He kind of brought it up himself about Hulk Hogan, and when he was live on the air, he was showing the rest in peace, but then off the air because he didn't want to broadcast it. But I'll go ahead and do it because this is what the conversation is all about. A lot of black people aren't too, fond of him, prior to his death, even to this point, because of, like you said, what he said in a private conversation. But my thing is, I want to talk about this because once again, it's not being negative, but it's just the reality of it is that if you have all this energy for Hulk Hogan and what he said, then how do you feel or keep that same energy for R. Kelly? Because truthfully, he did far worse than Hulk Hogan saying a certain thing, but R. Kelly actually doing those things as well.
Yeah, well, I feel like oftentimes we have selective outrage.
Exactly.
And, it's like we have selective outrage. Now, truth be told, if you're asking me my opinion on the whole, R. Kelly thing, it's very unfortunate. I feel the same way about everything. Now, mind you, when I'll tell my opinion when I'm asked my opinion.
Right.
First off, I look at myself first and foremost before I give anything on speaking on other people, which I rarely do. I don't speak on other people. I just really don't. But, I'm not perfect. I've said a lot of things that weren't meant, in my lifetime to people. I'm pretty sure most of us have. We've said some things to somebody that was like, oh man, I shouldn't have said that, or I shouldn't have done that. However, when you continuously do something, I feel, seeing the R. Kelly thing, right? He did what he did. Let's be real. Hogan said what he said. So I'm not going to have selective outrage on anybody. It's just wrong is wrong and right is right, regardless of who did it or who didn't do it.
Yep. I feel you on that. I feel you. So let's go ahead and get more into your life, man. So I know right now you're in the ATL, but tell everyone, for those who may not know, where were you born?
Oh, born and raised in Valley, Alabama. Country boy at heart, small town, Chambers County. So yeah, that's where I'm from.
Okay. So if I was to meet someone that you've known since you were a kid, what do you think that they would say about you as a kid?
As a kid, a quiet, shy, back then lanky kid. I was quiet, man. I was shy growing up. I grew up an only child, so I really wasn't. I didn't really have a lot of outside friends at the time. Even when you say kid, I'm just gonna say from a small kid going on up into we'll say middle school, high school. I was quiet and shy. I didn't really hang with the quote unquote in crowd like that. I was around my teammates playing basketball, but I didn't hang with them outside of basketball practice or a game either. So I was really a quiet, shy kid growing up.
You know what? That's pretty amazing because I grew up as the only child as well. And I would say,
but you get it.
Exactly. I can relate to you. And now I was blessed to have a lot of great friends who I, have called brother, and some sisters and everything. So I've been blessed to have a good community of good people around me since, my childhood years. but definitely in regards to the shyness, like this person that you're seeing right here, and for those listening, I was not that person at first growing up. I was, you know what I'm saying? I was to myself, like going to dances when I was younger. I would go, but I'll be that cat just on the wall, just chilling while everyone else probably dancing, doing, doing their thing. But I was the one that was just chilling, really, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm good, have fun, the whole nine. But it wasn't until maybe like my sophomore or junior year in high school, I was invited to a party, and I'll just say that ever since that party, all of a sudden I started getting being more outgoing. Then I had an opportunity to like go to one of my classmates' old parties, and my first time going, and I brought my own CDs. Now, yes, I said CDs for the new school, and you know how it was back in the day when we had those books of CDs with us, right? So I had like maybe 2 or 3 books, and I started DJing, and I started seeing the people like really vibing out, enjoying themselves, and like that started me wanting to be more outgoing and providing an atmosphere, and also want to be a DJ. So I had that moment, and then also what helped me to not be afraid of being in front of people was when I had speech class when I was at Harris Stowe State University. My freshman year speech class, I had to do a presentation and did a lot of PowerPoint. I had my Band-Aid on because I was Nelly at the time. This is around 2000, and had to do a whole speech. And like that moment on, like that helped me to find out about myself. So in regards to you being the only child, you being shy at first, what was it that brought you out of your shell?
Alabama State University. When I got to college, man, it was just something about, like, I had never been around that many people in my life, at one time in one setting. And so, in all honesty, to actually, I guess it was a moment of, it taught me how to network. Let me put it that way first. It taught me how to network, because being around that many people, being around that many, women initially, it was like, oh yeah, I got to say something to somebody. I can't walk around being this shy kid. Although I feel like, me being mysterious at one point kind of helped my case a lot, because a lot of people, they like the mysterious person because they want to find out what that person is all about. It's like, hold on, wait, he's just so quiet. He's just over here chilling. Like, what's going on? Like, I want to know who that is. But I will say, definitely going to Alabama State. And so once I got to Alabama State, I was a business major. So to kind of, piggyback off of what you said, those presentations and things, different things like that, and different assignments will open you up to having to talk to people, having to talk in front of people, having to speak to people all of the time. And then if you're in a group in college, of course, you have to converse with your peers in order to get your assignment done. Now, mind you, I was in 4 different organizations when I was in college. So that will force you to talk to people. That'll force you to network with people, to get to know people. You have to. There's no way around it. So I was in a business fraternity. I was in I'm in a business fraternity. I'm in a social fraternity. I was in a modeling troupe, and I was in another organization in college. So I was in like 4 different organizations. So I had to talk to people, and it just made me get up out of my shell. It was like, either I'm gonna meet all of these people and make these connections right now, or it's never gonna happen. So, man, when I got there, it was just so many people. I just started talking to so many people, meeting so many people, because one thing that I did learn, and that I always knew, although I was quiet, is that you never know who you're beside. You never know who this person may become. You never know what you may be missing as far as a friendship with a person. So college, man, Alabama State University definitely brought me out, like, just crack the whole shell.
Yeah, that's usually what it is, man. It's something that we have to and here we go. It's something that we have to, just experience. And then once you see it, it's like, here we go. Shouts out to my sis, man, Teresa. She said this is so dope. So I'm pretty sure that she watches the Kountry Wayne skits and everything. And definitely we'll get more into the Kountry Wayne skits and so much more. But even before college, I can tell you a tall person. So
Yeah.
what was the reaction of people while you were in high school and they start seeing just your growth like every day or every year? You just like, wait a minute, he's getting taller and taller.
Well, the first thing is I played basketball in high school, and I think it was like maybe from I was always kind of tall, but I think really from maybe 8th grade to that 9th grade year, I think that's when I kind of probably just shot up, or maybe between 9th and 10th grade. But people saw it and they always classified me as tall. They always addressed it like I was the tall guy, so but they were seeing it every day, and it was just one of those things. It was like, dang, like he tall, man. So yeah.
And what position did you play in basketball?
High school, I played center. I played center in high school. Then I went to go try to play a little college ball. When I, was out there on the court playing college ball, I was a small forward. So you think you're tall until you get around some tall people.
That part.
Like, I'm tall in civilian. I'm 6'6" in the civilian world. And yeah, I say even the NBA, I'm 6'6" literally, but I'm 5'6", So yeah, it was a big difference.
And was basketball your only sport?
Oh yeah. When I was like very young, I played a little football, but basketball was definitely it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so when I was in high school, I played multiple sports. I played basketball, baseball. Surprisingly, I played soccer and I played tennis. So trying to keep myself busy, what I'm saying, around the year, being in the books and pretty much being the scholar athlete. That was what was so important for me to do. So in regards to yourself, what was something that maybe your mom or others were trying to encourage you to do while you were in high school?
Well, in high school, run track. Some people tried to get me to run track in high school. Now, mind you, you do have different events in track and field. I didn't like running in basketball practice, let alone am I about to just run. It's like that. You just telling me to just run. Like I know I'm running in basketball, to get in shape, but running in track and field that's what you do. That's for the goal. That's the whole premises of it. So nah. I ran enough suicides as it was. I'm good.
Hey, I feel you. And the coaches that I had us running up steps and building like Teresa. I know you can relate playing sports, how Mr. Watkins used to have us run up them steps and back in Gateway. And then going to in high school, we used to go to this one little area. It was like a big reservoir right there. For those watching in St. Louis, right off of I think it's off of Grand. And I can't recall what that street is, but it was right off of Highway 40. And Highway 40 is like this big old reservoir area. And we had to like run like maybe 4 or 5 laps. And when I say people would puke after they got done running those laps, I saw that. I'm like, oh my God, like one dude straight up fainted for a minute because it was just so long of a run or a jog just to get around that reservoir. It was a whole beast. And that probably was why I didn't run track. Like I played the other sports, and even though I did love to run, track to me just wasn't my thing. Unless I was doing maybe the 100s, okay, I could probably do that. But like cross country and stuff like that,
You just run. It's like for me that just wasn't it. But you know what's crazy? I like running now. I ain't gonna say I like it, but I like more so of what it does for me. But I'm also not under pressure. I'm doing it for my own self health and self wellness. So it's a big difference versus, hey, get on the line, go run 10 suicides right now. It's right. Like, all right, like what if I don't run them? Now I got to get kicked out of the team. I got to go back and run again, or whatever the case may be. But I love what running actually does for me. But I just knew to have it as a quote unquote job in high school, it wasn't what I was going for. But
So
hey, I will say, when you running and you puke at the end, by the time you get done doing that so many times, you'll be in shape.
yeah, that's true. That's true
So,
because then,
it's good that comes out of it.
right, I was about to say by that time your body gonna be used to it. So now all of a sudden you're gonna start looking all ripped and you're gonna be in shape and everything.
Exactly.
So sometimes you got to go through that pain to get to where you want to get to.
Absolutely.
Excuse me. So that's a message right there for people who's tuned in. But so you said that you played college basketball. So was that off of a scholarship?
Nah. I was actually trying to walk on the Alabama State. And so the thing that some people don't know is I have 3 MCL tears.
Wow.
And yeah. So, I gave, it was like, I tore, well, I had tore my first, well, in my left knee. I think it was my left knee. I tore it in first. That was in middle school. So of course, going on up in high school, whatever. I built that one back up, and I'll never forget going into my senior year of high school. We were at a basketball camp at Auburn University, and I'm running down the court, and all of a sudden my knee just went out and went in, and I'm like, man, what is going on? It felt okay for a second, but then I, felt myself just like struggling to run, and so. Of course, I went and got the MRI and different things of that nature. So long story short, I knew that it wasn't only my knee that was hurting. It was like my hamstring and like my shin. I ended up having a torn MCL, a bruised bone, and a pulled hamstring all in one. Now, you can imagine how long that kind of took to heal. So, going back into high school, it was I was playing more timid than I ever, than I had ever played in my life. And trying to get back in the groove of things was like very hard. Now, mind you, this goes back to me saying also, I really didn't hang with like my teammates back then, really outside of just practicing the game. And a lot of them guys, they hung together outside of practice, outside of the game, but I never did. And so I kind of fell out of love for the game. For real, I fell out of love for it. So when I got to college, I said, you know what, man, I'm gonna try this one more time because the coaches and some more people, they saw me and was like, yeah, where you from? You're gonna try to play ball, yada yada. Now, and I will say this too. Before even going to Alabama State, I had a trial for Wiley College, which was in Texas, Bevel State, which is in Birmingham, and what was it? Chattahoochee Valley, which is in Phoenix City, Alabama. I think Phoenix City, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, long story short, I had those particular trials, and I want to say I had one more for some school. I can't think of what it is, but these were in-person trials. At every single trial, my knee hyperextended.
Whoa!
And so I'm just like, man, is it even for me? So I gave it one more shot at Alabama State. I'm out there for like the exhibition game and everything, but here comes 3 transfers from Auburn who already used to playing D1 college basketball in the SEC. And on top of that, I'm not developed on how to handle the ball because all I was taught was, hey, get down there, block shots, get rebounds. That's what we want you to do. Now, mind you, I'm 6'6", so yeah, that's what they want you to do at a small school in a small town. But now I'm going to college. These guys, my height, they handling the ball. They used to playing shooting guard. They used to playing everything. So I was already doomed. It didn't work out the way that I wanted it to work out. And that was the end of my basketball career.
What a story right there. What a story. Yeah. And
but in the meantime, I started doing entertainment. So
there it is. There it is. So, it's so crazy how life is because we have this whole plan mapped out. Oh, well, I'm going to be like for myself, I would say, when I was a kid, I'm going to be 6'4", 6'5", and whatever it is, and do all this, do all that. But it's amazing how God has a whole different vision, a whole different plan mapped out for you. Because I always say this, and for those watching or tuned in right now, we appreciate it. Keep on getting them shares going. Let everyone know about smooth conversation going on right now. But what people need to understand is that there are reasons why God opens and closes doors.
Yeah.
And And I would say that, let's say if I did get big playing basketball or playing baseball, then I wouldn't have met more than likely my wife, who I have now,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
my path would have been in a whole different direction and lifestyle, and ain't no telling where I would have been if certain
Absolutely.
things in my life went a certain way that I wanted to at that time. My life wouldn't be, in regards to having my wife, having, my kids, certain things just wouldn't be how it is. I wouldn't probably be here doing smooth conversations,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
so there's always a reason why things don't happen. Like I always say this too. You know how you was in high school or in college and you wanted to get that girl, and it was the reason why you didn't get that girl. Then 5 years later, 5 years
You
later,
really, you realize
you
why
like
you didn't get that girl.
you like, woo, Lord, thank you for not hooking me up, because I would have been, it just would have been a mess. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
your thoughts on that perspective that I just gave.
Yeah, I feel like everything does happen for a reason, because one thing about it is I've always wanted to be an entertainer. Now, to some capacity, I was always in love with music. I've always been a music lover. Now, can I play an instrument? No. Can I do music? No. But what I've always been a lover of music, and when I say music, I mean all genres. So the BET era, like early 2000s, how you were talking about, me and you were talking about Nelly, that whole era and all of that, I was in like middle school, high school, man. So I'm watching 106 in Park. Now, mind you, this is kind of superficial, and these were like things that we saw at the time. So I'm not a person who's trying to chase what everyone else is doing, but I knew I had something that I wanted to do with entertainment, because I'm seeing I'm seeing them on 106 in Park. I'm seeing the cars, I'm seeing the jury, I'm seeing everything. Now, mind you, as an adult now, I know the truth about a lot, but that's what made me want to be in entertainment to some capacity. So me not playing sports is actually the reason that I'm in entertainment right now.
Mm.
Now, people will say sports is a form of entertainment. Yes, but let's take athletes out of the picture. I wouldn't be doing entertainment in the capacity that I'm doing right now, because I would have been playing sports. And who knows what would have happened. I could have been hurt again. I could be hurt. I could be depressed. I could be anything that would have just blocked me from doing what it is that I initially wanted to do as a young kid.
So with that being said, what is for you the better transition from being an athlete to an entertainer, or an entertainer to an athlete?
From being an athlete to an entertainer, though, I feel like, because you can look at a lot of guys now who are in the league. We all know the amount of years that you may be in the NFL, the amount of years that you may realistically be in the NBA. Okay, well, you got to have something to do after that. And a lot of those guys are relatively young once they get out of the league. So now it's like, what do we do next? Oh, let's go into entertainment. And now they actually have agencies for people who used to be athletes and now they want to pursue entertainment. They have certain managers just for that, certain agents just for that. So I feel like that's an easier transition. But to be in entertainment and to just go into the league, I feel like it's a lot harder, because when you go into the NBA, the NFL, or the MLB, or playing professional hockey, soccer, whatever it is that you're playing, golf, whatever, you've been training for years. You've been working out for years to get there. You're not going to all of a sudden take this entertainment lifestyle and just hop on anyone's course, field, or court, anything. You're just not. So you're
Right.
definitely entertain from being an athlete to entertainer would be an easier transition.
So you brought up earlier that you went to Alabama State.
Absolutely.
Talk about the reason why you chose that school.
I chose Alabama State simply because my mom was like, "You going to college somewhere?" I didn't. Yeah, I did not want to go to. At one point, I didn't even want to go to college. I wanted to go to work. I wanted to make some money. And mind you, I still have my own opinions on that. Realistically, I really do. Alabama State ended up being one of the best decisions of my life ever. So I'm not mad that I went, but I chose that school simply because I wanted to go to, what was it first? It was a couple of schools I wanted to go to first. I can't remember what they were, but I think Alabama State was like one of the first ones to accept me. And I had already visited the campus at one point, a couple of times back in high school. And I did like the campus. And then on top of that, Alabama State is like an hour and 30 minutes away from where I'm from. And so when I got there and walked on campus and with the orientation, they accepted me and everything. And it automatically felt like home. And so when I went on that visit, it felt like home. I was already accepted. Like, yeah, I think this is why I'm going. Like I said, it's not too far away from home. It's far enough why I know my mom and daddy wasn't just gonna pop up on me. But you know what I'm saying? And I know I have my freedom, but I know if I need to get back home in a timely manner, I can get back as well. So yeah, all of that made me choose Alabama State University. So the culture of what I saw was amazing too. And then it's crazy because my mom, she went to Alabama. She graduated from Alabama A&M, which is our rival. So, but that's a whole nother story. And I think I want to be a little rebellious and have some competition in the house. So yeah.
That's what man. So for those who have not experienced it, because like for me, Harris Stowe, when I went to Harris Stowe, it was back then just Harris Stowe State College. Now it's Harris Stowe State University, and it's not. I don't want to discredit it like the Alabama States and Tennessee States when I say historical Black college, but I just want to ask you, and for those who haven't experienced it, just talk about what people are missing by not attending a HBCU. Because I know I've seen some videos in the past that you've been on. You be rocking it on the skits and other areas, but what is it that people are missing in regards to having that HBCU experience?
Like you said, I will not discredit anybody who goes, who attends any other college or university, but what I can say is it is a certain level of family and community and intimacy that's at the HBCU. Simply because I'll start with, inside of the classroom, the class sizes are smaller. And from my experience, I've had a lot of professors. I have a lot of colleagues who attend an HBCU outside of Alabama State. They're going to make sure that you graduate. If you want to, you will graduate. They're going to make sure they work with you. They're going to do everything in their power to make sure that you graduate. They're going to make sure. It's kind of like, back in the day, you would have, I grew up in the country. I grew up with a real grandma, as we say, that real deal grandmama who was already older and everything.
Right.
And I would stay with her sometimes, even with my mom too, but with my grandma, it's like she would have people to watch me next door sometimes when she had somewhere to go. She had something to do. She was like, if you ain't doing what you're supposed to do, you got my permission to get it. They were like that. My professors were like that at Alabama State University because they cared. And it was like they were going to hold you accountable, and they weren't just going to let you go out there and do anything and make a fool of yourself doing anything, because they really was going to talk to you, because a lot of them came from that same background that I came from. So they knew how to be motherly. They knew how to be fatherly. They knew how to talk to you. They knew how to tell you, hey, come here, don't let me see you doing it no more. So I feel like the level of community is something that someone is missing. It's a big level of, it's a lot of culture. It's a lot of history that you may miss out on. Oh my goodness. And now, if I'm going to the fun sector of it, of course we have, you missing some of the best homecomings of your life. You missing some of the best homecomings of your life. Man, to all of my young fellas who may be thinking about attending an HBCU, yeah, look, whatever decoration you want, I'll put it that way, she's there. So man, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot that can be missed though. Yeah, like I said, I feel like you're missing some of the best step shows. You're missing some of the best. Oh my goodness, man! Like I said, classic games. You're missing some of the best. The bands, it's so much that comes along with it that you can really miss out on. That doesn't happen anywhere else. Like I've visited a lot of different colleges and a lot of different universities, and I have yet to see some of these schools really get down like HBCU.
And that's one thing I would say. Once again, it's no shade at all to Harris-Stowe State University, but it that was actually like a very small school. It was pretty much one building. Now they have 2 or 3 maybe, but it's like more so for I think I have about 3 or 4 buildings now. But back when I went, it was pretty much just 2 buildings. But I should have experienced much more bigger college life where I had to drive, to different buildings to go to school or stay in a dorm. Because like I was still staying pretty much at home and drive to school every day. I wish that I would have had that experience where I was out on my own and in a dorm and really getting into that college life. Because I feel like it just would have been a better experience for me. But talk about that experience for you.
Well, first off, the campus life was that was just different, man. It was so fun. It got to the point, man. My parents, you would have thought that I was in Alaska somewhere because I did not go home like that. Because on the weekends, man, if it was a game or something, like we had so much fun. Whether it was a game, whether it was a probate, whether you and your friends is going out to whatever function on any given weekend. So to me, that was cool. And I will say, like, even Alabama State, realistically, when you're talking about the size of schools, it wasn't the biggest school. It really wasn't. It was a smaller HBCU if you're looking at it from a big scale. Now, mind you, it's grown tremendously since I've been there, like tremendously. So I feel like it was just enough. It was like it's not the University of Alabama or Auburn or anything like that in comparison to size, but it's like just enough. So that campus and that college life, man, was definitely something that I love. I think about every single day still, for the most part. I'm just like, man, if I could go back, like, just for like a week, I would do it. Minus having to take a test.
And my wife, who's probably watching right now or listening, shouts out to you, wifey. She went to the University of Missouri.
Okay.
And she, loved, her time. But she said that she went to a homecoming. She was invited to a homecoming by, I think our younger cousin years back. I think she went to Jackson State, and she said, man, it was just the experience, just seeing so many different levels of us. You know what I'm saying? From your hip people to maybe your gothic people to your rock people to your reggae style, people, or, whatever it is. It was so many different cultures, but everyone, it was a vibe. You know what I'm saying? It was a vibe.
It's such a vibe. And when I say this too, man, it's crazy because you don't go to school for a fashion show, right? However, and I know everyone cannot, people can't afford certain things or whatever. So I'm not saying it in the sense of like you come to school and you can't participate in this because you don't have money or whatever. But the sense of style that people had too. Like you said, you might see your gothic, you might see this crew over here, this crew over here. You might, my preppy people, whatever you may see, they had their own swag.
Right.
And so many people like walking on the yard would be like a fashion show sometimes. Not in the sense of people spending money, because I know a lot of people that went thrifting and knew how to put stuff together. Even when you're on that campus and you got school apparel, the way that some people will put school apparel together is like so dope. I saw some stuff. I'm just like, dang, where'd you get that? Where'd you get that sweater from? Where'd you get that Alabama State shirt from? it's just dope. So I feel like all of that, man, all of that comes with it. It's just like a different world. Like literally, like the show, a different world.
Right,
So
right.
yeah.
So when did you really feel that you really belonged when you went to Alabama State?
Um the first day, I won't say orientation because we're all trying to figure it out. But that first official day of school, I want to say. Or maybe not that first official day, maybe when I moved in a couple of days prior to the first day of class. My first roommate in college, man, he was just super cool. He was super cool, man. We clicked immediately. And he a country guy, I'm a country guy. We still cool to this day. Man, we just started conversing, and I'm like, yeah, like let's go to the cab, man. Going to the cab today, or we going wherever? I go in the cab, and it's a DJ in the cab. And it's a whole mixer going on. People getting their food, but it's a party at the same time.
Right.
Now, mind you, it's not the fact that I went at a party. Clearly I didn't because I graduated, but it's like a party going on. And it's because the school is relating to the students who are there. And I'm just like, I'm looking around at all the people, man, everybody vibing, everybody having a good time. I go on a basketball court that they had outside at the time called a Band-Aid. Everybody out there just looking, just playing, but everybody playing ball, and everybody around the fence like we in New York playing at Rucker or something. I'm like, oh yeah, this is school right here. I'm like, this is it.
This is it. This is why I'm here. And like you said before, going back, thank you, sports, for not working out, because if it didn't work out, maybe I wouldn't, be in position I am.
I probably could, who knows? I could have went to another school. I could have ended up in one of those schools that I tried out for and not been as happy. And inside of the classroom, nor outside of the classroom. And then on top of that, I had some very cool professors too. So, outside of feeling at home because of the fun aspect of it, I felt at home when I was, in them classrooms too. And being able to actually go speak to my professor and say, hey, look, I need help with this, or what do you mean by this? And they actually will help you. Because sometimes when you're in a bigger university, you can't reach a professor sometimes. It's crazy. Sometimes it's impossible to get office hours with those people. But I was able to get office hours anytime I needed to with any professor to help me with whatever subject, whatever subject it was, whatever I needed help with. And they were going to take the time to help because they really cared.
So you wasn't prepared for this, but talk about this moment right here.
Oh, man, that was a great moment. That was a great moment in time. What's crazy, sometimes you can get so caught up in the world, and even in college, you can get so caught up in the fun aspect of it. You can get so caught up in the glitz of the Greek life, the glitz and glamour of the football games, the homecomings, to the point you forget why you're there. So for me to have had such an amazing journey at Alabama State University and to get to that point, I'll never forget when I called my mom and I was like, hey, guess what? She was like, what? I said, I got all my credits. I'm graduating. She was so happy. And I remember shortly after that, I went and took those pictures. And man, it was a moment in time, man. It was one of the most proudest moments of my life.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you, do you feel that from a son to mother thing, that was probably her biggest or most emotional moment, just seeing you graduate from college?
You know what? It probably still is to this day. No matter what happens now, now I go different places and she'll be with me, or her and my dad will be with me, and people, whether we're in a restaurant or something, people they'll be like, DC, what's up? Let me can I take a picture? Let's, yada yada. DC, what's up? I just got to watch Kountry Wayne. I think things like that makes her feel so fulfilling, but it's still something about putting in work for
Right.
years
Right.
and for her to see her son walk across that stage to, do something that she wanted me to do. She wanted me to do it. So for her to see something that she wanted me to do and to see it in real time, knowing that that's something that she did and something that she accomplished as well, it was like, all right, I've done my part. Now everything else is on you for real. And it was like a sense of accomplishment for her too, I feel like. So I feel like that's definitely probably the biggest accomplishment that I've ever done that she really loves.
And just as a life lesson, how important is it to have a goal, be able to get to that goal, and to feel the rewards of that said goal? Because we always want to get into certain things, but then we don't see it through. Adversity comes and we're so quick to say, oh, that's too hard for me. I wasn't ready. I want to go ahead and change up my major, or I want to switch up this. I want to do this. But sometimes it's just all about how and that's why it's so important to pray and be
Absolutely.
specific in prayer on allowing the Lord to see you through certain things. So talk about that feeling of having that reward because you worked your butt off to get to that point.
Well, I've never been one to quit anything that I start. I don't think that I've ever quit anything in my life. No matter how hard it got, I still persevered. I still did what I had to do, and I still made it happen. So for me, man, it was very fulfilling because sometimes you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. But if you just keep going, sometimes it might be a brick wall there that you got to just knock down, see that light. And so I was always a person that never wanted to quit, and I knew that by any means, I'm like, well, I'm here now, so it's gonna happen. It's like I gotta graduate, gotta make it happen. Of course, there were a lot of obstacles, but I just knew that I'm big on not letting other people down as well. So I knew had I dropped out of college, like I couldn't be a part of that statistic. Not to say anything about anyone who's ever done it, because it's not for everyone. But I'm one of those people. I believe in when I personally start something, I'm gonna finish it. I'm gonna ride it till the wheels fall off. I'm gonna get to that end goal one way or the other. So it was very fulfilling for me. I didn't want to let anybody else down, and I didn't want to be like, oh yeah, he went to college, he couldn't even finish. He couldn't even finish that. Like no, I can do anything that I want to do. But yeah, it was some times where it's like, man, I don't know. I don't even know if I'm finna finish it now. But like you said, being so specific in prayer and praying about it every single day, like God, I want to finish school. I want to graduate. I want to, I want to do this. I want to do that. And I graduated.
There it is. There it is. I love hearing that, man. And I hope people who's watching, who listening right now, that they really are listening, not just hearing, but listening what you're saying, because it has a powerful message behind that. So with that being said, what would you say that Alabama State taught you as a man?
Oh man, where do I start? It definitely taught me. It taught me commitment for one. It taught me how to deal with so many people on so many different levels. It taught me to be resilient. It taught me how to treat so many different people. Um, it taught me that no matter what goes on in life, to stay focused on your priorities. And we all, when I was there, we had a motto. I think they changed it up now, but it was when we teach class, the world takes note. So anything that I go outside of my four walls and go do, is somebody watching. And I also know that there's somebody actually watching what I do. There's somebody observing every single day what I do now, especially now in my life, this point in my life. Definitely, eyes are everywhere,
Right.
but
Ain't hide it.
Yeah, so it's kind of like when I'm teaching class, it's just going through my everyday life, setting whatever example that I'm going to set, make sure that it's positive because somebody's taking note of what you're doing. And you want them to take all positive notes. You don't want them to have anything negative to put on that notepad. So yeah, that's what Alabama State taught me, other man.
That's what's up. Talk about this photo right here.
Uh-oh. That's what I really worried about. Hey, you went digging.
Yes, sir.
Oh man. That was all right. So all of these people in this photo are a part of my business. Well, all of us, we're in the same business fraternity. Phi Beta Lambda Professional Business Fraternity Incorporated. Two of them were on my line. The one in the blue shirt, she was not. She was before me. The other two, they were on my line. Now, this was at a basketball game that we played against like another business fraternity at the time. So that is actually I crossed Phi Beta Lambda before I crossed Phi Beta Sigma. So Phi Beta Lambda, like I said, it's a professional business fraternity incorporated. And that was something that I kind of got into by kind of just happened. A guy who I knew, he was already in it. And he was like, hey, we having an interest meeting today, for our business fraternity. Would you be interested in, coming? I was like, yeah, what I need, I'll come. I think I was just like my second year in college, I want to say. First or second? Had to be second, I think. Or maybe second semester, I don't know. And anyway, long story short, I went to the interest meeting. I brought what I needed to bring. And they ended up picking me. And trying to see how I can say this. We went through all of the proper protocol channels to be a part of, the business fraternity. We took our tests and different things like that. And I was a part of it. But it was a fraternity that taught you how to, to do a presentation, to network with different business professionals. So basically that was the I guess alumni chapter of FBLA, if you've ever heard of that.
Nice. So college life.
I was looking real young right now.
and trust me, every person that I have on this show, because majority of my shows are in person. It's very rare I do something like this where the guest is not in person. Of course, you in the ATL right now, so we couldn't make that happen. Maybe in the future we can make something happen. We can collab or something like that. But they always say, man, you be doing your homework, because that's what the journey is about. Is once again where you were from back then to this period in your life to what you're doing now. So I try to do my best to be able to show certain moments. That's why I call my production in regards to photography and videography and drone services smooth moments, because I want to be able to show off those moments.
Absolutely.
So now you're done with college. Yeah. What made you get into modeling?
Okay, so my 12th grade year, one of my mom's coworkers, I call her Auntie Michelle. I've been calling her Auntie since her and my mom was working together. She saw my prom photo and she was like, yeah, he takes great photos. Has he ever tried modeling before? And I'm just like, my mom, she came back and told me. And I'm like, nah, I ain't no trying no modeling. I'm not about to try it either, because I was all about, sports at the time still. Regardless of what, I was all about sports. I'm a 6'6", tall, pretty lanky kid for the most part. So it's just like, nah, I'm playing sports. I'm not trying it. Long story short, I gave it a shot. I reached out to a guy in my hometown who used to put on fashion shows. Shout out to Toby the King. I said, hey man, I didn't say hey man like that, but I was just like, yeah, I know you're doing, you do fashion shows, I'm trying to, possibly get into modeling. You think you could, I've been part of your show or whatever. And he used to do a calendar every year too. And he was like, yeah, so he put me as the feature male model in the calendar, and he put me in his show. Okay, so I kind of liked it a little bit. So fast forward, I get to college, and once I got to college, I found out about this, this modeling troupe called Elite Models. So, I go try out for that. I audition for it. You know, at the same time, I'm still trying to play basketball too. But I go in and I audition for it. I end up getting chosen to be a part of, you know, the modeling troupe. Now, with this particular troupe, it's one of those things. It's an organization that was at Alabama State University, led by Darius Breon. That with Darius Chambers. That particular troupe would teach you different things, like just how to work, you know, how to work in front of the camera, how to put different outfits together, you know, just all the things that you would need for that sector of entertainment. It was pretty cool. There was a lot of lovely ladies that was in there too. And I'm like,
gotta add that in.
Oh, not too bad. So
right.
I ended up also, you know, when I was still in Montgomery at the time, early on, I think freshman year in college, a guy by the name of Perry Varner, he used to have a show called The Style Experience. I think every year in Montgomery. And I went to that particular audition. It was like one of the biggest shows. So I went to that audition. I ended up making the show. This would be my second runway show, but this was, you know, like I say, where I'm from, it's kind of a smaller town, so of course the crowd was gonna be smaller. So this was on a, you know, bigger scale. It was in Montgomery, Alabama. And I'll never forget when I did that particular show, I think it was 1,200 people there. And mind you, I'm a shy kid growing up. Not really getting attention like that. And I started lifting a lot of weights too in between high school and college. And I wasn't used to having no muscles either until that time. So I never forget, before Facebook is what it is now, I woke up the next day after that show when pictures from the show were, you know, circulating and being put out. And I posted on. I had so many friend requests and comments, and I loved the attention that I was getting, to be transparent with you, because I wasn't used to getting the attention like that. Yeah. It was like people knew me back home from playing basketball. You know, I had the money, I had the 86 money Carlo with the rims, lights up on it, all of that. So people knew me. And then, you know, back then in high school, I was working at McDonald's too. So it's like, okay, we got this tall guy, he plays basketball, he worked at McDonald's, he got the car with the rims, you know, so they knew me. But it was a different level when I hit that stage of entertainment. And it was like, oh, dang, now I got a little muscle or something. The women, they called me sexy and everything. And I was like, okay. I think I'm gonna try this a little bit further. Yeah. Now, a young lady who was actually a stylist and designer in the modeling troupe that I was in. Once again, everything it comes back to connections. She had a she had a lunch party for her t-shirt brand. Now she's expanded so far with t-shirts and everything, t-shirts, pants, all of that. She was like, "Hey, look, I'm having this event in Birmingham. Like, I want you to be a model for me, yada yada." Okay, cool, bet, no problem. Now, mind you, I go to that particular event, and it's an agency there. I had no idea, by the name of Red Models, that was in Birmingham at the time. And so they went up to her and told her to tell me that they possibly wanted to sign me. And she kept telling me, she said, "Hey, I got something for you. I got something for you." I'm like, "Okay, what you got for me?" She told me like 3 times. She said, "Oh yeah, don't forget to let me tell you." She ended up telling me that's what it was. I reached out to the lady who was over Red Models at the time. She was like, yeah, my representatives were there and we saw you and we want to sign you. Oh, okay. You know, I said, okay. I ended up signing with them. I was with them for years. They got me some gigs and I started making more money than I had ever made in my life, just off of modeling. And when I realized I could really make money off of that, the whole attention thing was cool, but it, you know, and I say that loosely because it's real. It was real. I did like the attention, but also I realized I can make real out of this. And I'm just like, wait a minute, I can really go forward with this. You telling me I can pay my bills with this if I do it right, if I maneuver it right? And man, I did that. I signed with them. They ended up, you know, going out of business or whatever you want to say, or dismantling. But yeah, overall, I did it. Went from there. Now I'm here.
So,
and I will say this, if I may add one thing. When I was in college, also, I don't know how I left this part out. When I was in college, me and 3 guys, once again, being in that modeling troupe, a guy who's over the theater department by the name of Brian Martin, Mr. Martin. He hit us up. It was like me and two other guys. He said, "Hey, would y'all be interested in doing this thing for Essence or whatever?" At the time, I'm like, "Yeah." He's talking about Essence Fest in New Orleans. I said, "Yeah, I'll do it." What is it? Long story short, it was like a brand ambassador job, doing some stuff for Walmart, like activations and things like that. And I'm like, yeah, okay, well, whatever, making us some extra money. We at Essence Festival in New Orleans. That was my first time ever going to Essence Festival. First off, I was mind blown. Now, while I'm sitting here doing these activations and working for Walmart, I get a flyer. It's a male model competition. I said, all right, cool. So I asked the lady who was over all of us, I said, hey, look, I really want to go hop in this competition real quick, if you don't mind. They took longer to get started than they should have. So they trying to look for me to see where I'm at. They finally get started. I go on stage. I win the competition. Free from 106 in Park was hosting it at the time. And I'm like, oh man, I was so mind blown at the time because of that. Anyway, yeah, I was so mind blown at the time because of that. So I get there, I win it, and as soon as I'm walking off the stage, the editor-in-chief at the time of Essence Magazine, she comes up to me. She hands me a card. She says, "Hey, send me an email on Monday because I want to make you Essence Magazine's eye candy." I said, "Okay, yeah, thank you. I got you." I sent it to her. I sent her the email. I sent my bio and everything that she asked for. She sends me a email back. She said, "Okay, received. Thank you. I'm going to get on this right away. Yada yada." And by the way, she was like, "Nice to meet you, Frat." So she's was the sorority sister of my fraternity.
Wow.
Then, so mind you, I go to do this thing at Walmart. I get on stage to do a male model competition by happen chance that they was having, and I win that. Then I get inside the Essence Magazine, and then they put me as the Essence Magazine eye candy, which circulated all over the internet and went international. And so that was another key component of me getting to where I was at in modeling.
That is amazing. Just like you said, the connections, being in a frat and then having someone who's a sister of the fraternity, that's just truly amazing. And then as you tell me the story, I think about this because as you was talking about playing sports, being shy, and then you're taking photos like this.
Yeah. Man, I thought I was Tarzan or somebody. Man, that was a shoot that I remember that day. I don't remember what it was for, but I think it was just a portfolio shoot or something like that. But I think I was, what was I at the time? I don't recall. I do not recall. But anyway, long story short, yeah, I got out of my shyness, clearly.
And see, you a good one because I see this photo and I'll be like, man, I'm going to be itching to be in this grass.
Man, I've done some shoots in some places that's like, oh my goodness, like, what are we doing here? But yeah.
Man, that's amazing.
Part of it.
Shout out to the wifey. She says, dope story.
Thank you.
There we go. Love you, wifey. Once again, this is Smooth Conversations, where the conversations are always smooth. I am your boy Smooth. That's with 3 O's. I have the one, the only Darryl DC Chambers. Y'all see him every day on your devices on the Kountry Wayne skits, the viral, the famous Kountry Wayne skits. And right now, we just talking life. We shooting the breeze because that's what this show is about. Once again, go ahead and just show love all over social media. Not right there yet, but go ahead, scan the QR code right now and connect with Smooth Conversations in DC. While I'm doing this, if you want to use your other phone or device and share this stream right now to everyone to have them tune in and show love, feel free to do so right now. But everyone else, scan the QR code. Also, go on YouTube, Smooth Conversations, Smooth with 3 O's. Don't forget, and like and subscribe. And you can also listen in every Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on Beat District Radio. Just go to the website, beatdistrictradio.com, or go to the app on Google Play or App Store. Just put in Beat District Radio, and you are good to go. So now let's keep it going with the modeling because you brought the ladies, and I know that was a big thing for you. Like, hey, okay, I'm around some nice women here. So talk about being in that position as a model, but also having discipline because you could have certain people go to certain rooms, and once they get exposed to certain things, they just lose it and lose the opportunity that they were blessed to have. So talk about from your perspective the importance of having discipline.
Discipline is everything. Like even right now, man. Discipline is something that we all can struggle with. It wouldn't be discipline if it was easy. But I've always felt like one of the worst things that you can do is have your name circulating around in everybody's mouth. Everybody talking about you like, oh yeah, you can get caught up that way. Let me put it that way. Get
Right.
caught up. But discipline is everything because you can get so distracted. And one thing about it is I've always had a certain level of discipline. Until I didn't want to have it. But which is crazy that, sometimes we have so much discipline early on to the point where you can lose it sometimes. And it's just being real and being transparent. But at the time, I was so focused on, I was having a good time, but I was also focused on what it is that I wanted to do because I'm like, I'm getting so many blessings right now. I don't know where they're going to take me. So before I ruin where it's going to take me, let me see where I'm going. And so for me, it was always a thing of like, man, let me, and then, some women out here, but they'll say your dream. They say we'll do it, but they'll do it too. But I also know I didn't want to get caught up and didn't want to get anything that would hinder me from continuing what I wanted to do and my lifestyle that I may have needed to continue what it was that I wanted to do.
And
so I didn't want to have no kids.
Yeah.
I didn't want to catch anything. I didn't want to do none of that. And a lot of that was easy to do because you're around so many people, but you don't know what those people doing. You don't know, it's just so much, man. And I always knew like I knew I had an end goal of what I wanted to do, and I still have an end goal because this thing called life is still going on. But yeah, discipline is important, man. I can't speak on that enough. That's with anything.
And you brought up something earlier that I wanted to get to real quick in regards to, working your tail off to get that reward. And one of my biggest pet peeves has been, especially with athletes, let me even go even further with a lot of black athletes, is that they get to a position of they finally sign that contract. You in the NFL, you finally make it big, and then you allow a moment to derail your career to where you in jail, or you may get released, or in your field of modeling or acting, you do one thing like look at what Shannon Sharp is going through right now because of because of something that he did off the screen because of lust or whatever it was. Now he lost a potential of getting even more millions that he's already earned because of a weakness of a moment. That's one of my biggest pet peeves, is that you don't realize the people that you're affecting because of the decisions that you make. You don't think about your mom, your dad, your cousins, the people that you met at Alabama State or wherever else that were your coaches. Kind of like on Akila the Bee, how she had so many coaches, people from the hood, people from her school, her family, they all came around to show her love and say, you know what, we got you. But you don't think about that when you made those certain mistakes or had that moment where it can derail your career. So talk about that.
Well, first and foremost, I feel like we all have a past, right?
Yeah.
Everyone does. and this is a conversation, so I feel like this is a safe space for me to converse, say what it, just as a man, I know your wife is home, so this is just from a conversation standpoint.
Oh yeah, understand.
Whether you've been involved with, the woman before, whatever. If your wife wasn't the first person, it's like at the time you're thinking you're just with this woman. You may be having relations with this woman or whatever the case may be, but when you start to elevate more and more and more, you never know what a person may come back and try to hit you with. You just don't. So I don't really, people, they can say what they want to about race, yada yada. I don't get into all that whatsoever. I got people in my family who are in interracial relationships, all of that, whatever. But and there could be anybody who would do it. Anybody can come back and say, "Oh man, he did this to me." Oh, he did. Okay, well, yeah, we're gonna try to take him down now because he already elevating to the top. And if you notice, Shannon Sharp's brand has been getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So the way that I feel about it is, yeah, you have to be careful with what you do, but at the same time, how cautious can you really be sometimes? I feel like when you are put in a certain position, you have to have more, you have to be more cautious about certain things because it's like you don't want that to happen. But that's like something that I could have done 20 years ago. What if somebody come back now and say, "Oh yeah, well he did this, and the third?" It's like I wasn't thinking about that back then. I wasn't thinking that this would even be a problem, but now it's a problem. So and then the question is, speaking from like the Shannon Sharp standpoint, was it really consensual or was it not? So it's kind of like it could have been very consensual. They could have just been role playing for real. And I don't think it's a crime to role play. I don't think it's a crime to whatever you want to do. That's not a crime. The thing is, she tried to accuse him of something, and whether it was the accusations were real or not, I don't think that he should have been fired because of that, though.
Yeah, and
because that was even before he got on there, before he got on ESPN.
And that's the whole thing, is because of what ESPN is, being an affiliate of Disney and whatever. They want to have a certain reputation that, oh, well, we can't, it was a business decision. Let's just say that. And it was just unfortunate because he was, he still is really at the peak of his career, because he going to still make money and do his thing with what he doing with Club Shay Shay and the other sports talk show that he has with Chad Ochocinco, Nightcap. Yeah. He gonna still do it, but it can taint his image because people are starting to see other parts of, like you said before, now that you're in a certain limelight, you have to be mindful of what you do.
Yeah, you have to be because it's crazy. Like now, like I said, when you're young, I mean, now this is outside of the Shannon Sharp situation, but when you're young, you do a lot of things that you really don't know where you're gonna end up. Like you don't know that you may be working, you might be the top of a Fortune 500 company. You don't know that, and so I don't think anyone is growing up saying, "Oh yeah, no." I say that back. Some people will, but I don't think consciously some people are gonna be like, "Oh yeah, well I'm gonna be the CEO of such and such." So let me just not do this. Let me not have this fun tonight on this particular night because it might come back to hunt me 30 years from now. When you're like very young, I don't really think you think like that. A lot of people don't. Some people do. I've had my thoughts of that before, of like, well, what if this happens? What if this happens? But I've also been in situations where it's like some things have happened and they could have easily came back on me too. But I wasn't thinking about that at the time. And it's just, and it's like nothing crazy, but just little stuff. You just never know. And I don't know. I think now I think about, and it didn't take me long to realize this. So I've been thinking this way for a long time, that it's so much attached to my name that it can come back on everything that's attached to me as well.
Right.
Because they're gonna be like, DC from Kountry Wayne? Oh, you talking about Darryl Chambers, DC, the singer from went to Alabama State University? Oh, you talking about from Valley, Eleanor Russell's son? Things like that. It's gonna always come back to oh, yeah, you're DC connected to what? Oh, you're Darryl Chambers. Oh, but you're part of this, right? So yeah, you have to really be cautious. And I've learned the older I get, the more cautious that I am.
Yeah, it's so many layers, and like you said, especially in the position that you're in right now. But speaking of that,
Yeah, hey, matter of fact, yeah, I walk some places, they be like, "You DC from the?" Nope, not me. It ain't me. I have a dog
guy. But with modeling, as you were telling that story earlier, how it has opened up so many doors for you. One of those doors that I see is you getting the acting bug. Talk about what made you get into acting, and who are some people that may have inspired you or coached you along the way to get to where you're at right now.
Okay. As far as acting, man, that's truth be told, that's nothing that I ever wanted to do. In general, I've always, like I said, I've always wanted to be in entertainment, but after modeling, I wanted to do something more. And I'm like, man, what can I do to elevate? Because I knew realistically modeling will only really take me so far. It's like, I can get money from it, but how can I maximize this? How can I get more money? How can I get more opportunities? And I'm a person who I'm going to want to go to the next level in whatever it is that I'm doing. So, after modeling for so long, then modeling, of course, now it's turned into influencer work. I'm like, what can I do? What do I want to do? So I still want to be in entertainment. So, I started trying to do acting. I got into background work early on first, as that's what most people do, just to learn the ins and the outs, the behind the scenes, to see how set is run, to learn set terminology, to learn more set etiquette, just all of that, to learn the hours that goes into it. So I got into that. I started doing that, and I really kind of liked it. From there came indie films, and from indie films came feature films, and then commercials, and it just went on and on. So to answer your question, I'm going to go back. I just really wanted to challenge myself and elevate myself in entertainment.
So what would you say to people right now who are timid, as you said that you were when you were younger, and just need that extra push to say, go ahead and do it? What was something that you would say to those watching or tuned in right now listening?
Don't be timid. If you're timid, you could possibly miss out on what is really meant for you to do in life. Man, because being timid is just being nervous. You just got to get rid of those nerves. You got to step out there and do it. And you always hear step out on faith, but that's real. Like anything that I say in interviews or to anybody, I'm a living witness of it, or it's something that I go by, or it's something that I've actually experienced. Like I really stepped out on faith. Like you can't be timid going into what it is you want to do. Have you ever heard anybody say you may not know what you're talking about, but as long as you sound confident, it's just like you know what you're talking about. You got to be confident. So even if it's something that you're going into that you really don't know what you're doing, act like you belong there. Get rid of those nerves and just make it happen, because you don't want to lose the opportunity. I'd much rather not be timid and try something and find out that it's not for me than to be timid and not try something and to find out like, oh dang, that's what I could have been doing.
And it's so important also to step out of your comfort zone, because you can't continue to go through life staying in a certain box, always being safe, because there's so much more out there. It's not saying do everything, but sometimes it's important just to step out of your comfort zone and just see what is out there. How can we say, we believe in God and Jesus, for those who are religious and have faith, but then we don't put in the work, but then we don't trust in God allowing us to lead us. We can't just say one thing, but then not have the actions behind it.
Oh, big time. Big time. You got to have the actions behind it. I mean, that's something that I'm a firm believer in. I've always been a firm believer in that, man. Like I said, I pray all the time. I can pray for anything, but if I don't go out there and do it, it ain't gonna work. And I was watching an interview earlier today with Charlemagne the God, and he was like, yeah, I can sit here and manifest this, that, and the third, but you know, I can say, hey, I want a summer body. Well,
Right.
guess what? You still got to go to the gym. You know, you can say, hey, I want to go win the lottery. Okay, well, guess what? You got to go play a ticket in order to do it. So you got to actually put that work in. And then on top of that, you do have to trust God, because you can't ask for something that you want him to actually grant you with, but you're trusting on your own understanding to do it, because it doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Facts right there. So going back to the acting real quick, I had no idea until I saw this photo that you were on this show right here at the game. So
yeah,
talk about this photo.
Okay, so see, that was my first background role. When I said I got in the background doing background work, this was the first show that I ever set foot on anybody's set, with BET's The Game. And at the time, man, you know, BET's The Game was like the hottest show at that time.
Right.
Like definitely one of the hottest shows for sure. And I just remember, man, like the magic that show just it put something in me. It sparked something. And I'm like, yeah, this is what I want to do. So they called me one time, then they called me back, and it's crazy. Only to be doing background work. It was like the school blew it up in the newspaper and everything at Alabama State when I did it. So it was just like they put a picture of me with no shirt on and everything. Girls had the picture on their doors. But look, I said, once again, I made another good choice. But that's really what sparked something in me to just continuously do or to pursue acting even further, because I'm seeing Pooch Hall on set. I'm seeing Jose Sanchez. I'm seeing a lot of these people. I'm seeing Wendy Raquel Robinson, who I actually saw on the Steve Harvey show back in the day, all at the time, you know. And those people were actually so cool, and it was just something new. It was like a breath of fresh air of something that I wanted to do, and it just hit me.
Man, that's dope. And then, like you just said, being around those kind of actors, man, that had to been such an amazing feeling to once again see the hard work that you put in, and now you're being put in position to see and be around other celebs and everything. So when you're not on set, you know, when you know the director isn't saying action, how are the actors and actresses when you're offset?
Well, speaking of people who I work with now, for the most part, super cool. For the most part, people are so cool. You know, you have people who have their own different personalities, man, but I find my tribe. And a lot of people are really fun people. You know, so a lot of people, man, are chill. You sit there, you talk, you converse, you laugh, you eat good food. You know, so it's a lot of people are very cool who I've actually come across, man. So in between takes, it's all love.
And I also saw that you have been a part of some music videos from Jagged Edge to Dondria, Nicole Six Lack. Talk about that experience, just being a part of some great music videos.
Oh man, that was something that I prayed for and manifested as well. Because right, you know, in the midst of modeling, I said, well, what else can I really do? After I was, you know, modeling for a while, I said, what else can I really do to incorporate modeling and circulate myself a lot and to still be visible, you know, to the masses? I said, music videos. I want to do a music video. One music video turned into so many music videos. I turned into a male video vixen at one point. Like I was just in so many people's music videos. It was crazy. But I love every minute of it, because I got to act out a scenario that was telling a story. And I got to continuously build my brand and continuously just grow. So music videos was a major platform in my career as well.
Yeah. So so for Jagged Edge, and I'm saying right now, what song or songs in regards to music videos were you part of?
For Jagged Edge, it was a song called Decided.
Okay.
So I played the lead. I played the lead in Decided for Jagged Edge. Man, if we're going down the list, Black. Well, it looks like 6 Lack, but Black, East Atlanta Love Letter, which was a major hit for him. Oh man, Dundra and Nicole's Take You There. That was a major video that I was in. Goodness gracious. Man. Masika PT put it on some Masika featuring Jazzy Faye. Lovely Mimi had a song that she was trying to get because she was representing her marriage with her ex-husband. And I was playing the role of that. That was what was the name of that song? Never Again. That was a cool video to be a part of. I've been a part of so many videos though, man. A lot of them.
So college to modeling, acting, doing music videos. What were your parents saying as you kept on just adding more and more to your table? Because I know that they had to be like, man, look at you just doing your thing.
I think it's one of those. Well, first off, they've always supported me, so I'm very thankful for that. They've always supported me. It was like I don't know in their mind, honestly, if there were ever a time where they were like it might not be the thing for him. I don't know that. You know, if they did, they said it behind closed doors, but I think it was we support you, but whatever you're doing. It's like, hey, I just did this video, mom. Hey, dad, I just did this. Oh, that's good. Then it became oh, wow. Okay. So, now people recognizing you. Not, okay, well, you really paying your bills from this. So I think it's one of them things like we support you. And then it's like, okay. Kind of how you may see a young man playing Pee Wee football. If it's your son playing Pee Wee football or your daughter cheerleading, whatever the case may be, it's like, let's say the son, for instance, right? Playing football. Yay, he scored a touchdown. That's my son. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then he becomes very good in middle school, then high school. Then he signs his D1 scholarship and it's like, okay, he might be on to something. Then you go to the NFL and it's like, yay, okay. So you did have the plan the whole time. So that's kind of how they may feel about it.
And when you're on set, for doing these music videos, do you have an opportunity to connect to network with these artists, or are the artists like the agents or whatever it is? They be like, hey, keep it strictly professional, just focus on your job. Can you talk to them, or do you try to network with them and connect and try to collab and do more?
Well, I always try to connect. I try to collab. I try to talk to people. It's one of those things. It's like you're gonna have security guards and things like that. This was like more so early on who would try to keep people, secluded or whatever the case may be. But for the most part, everyone who I've done a music video with, I talk to them. I chop it up. They're super cool. I haven't really had a bad experience with that for real. Like, especially not being a lead in the video. I haven't, because I'm right there working with the artist, and so we right here, like we chopping it up, So yeah, I haven't really had that problem.
Shouts out to my homie Mia Mayani. She says, "Hey, I remember him from Miss Law's video. Do you recall?"
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Mayani,
shout out to Miss Law. I did 2 of her videos. She's actually from St. Louis too.
Yeah, there we go. I'm about to say, Mayani, yeah, we go way back. I used to be in the band. I was a drummer / MC, and Mayani is just an amazing singer, amazing human being. So shouts out to you, Mayani, for tuning in and showing love right now to Smoooth Conversations. Once again, everyone else, leave comments, keep them shares going as I have Darryl, DC Chambers on the show. But yeah, shouts out once again to you, Mayani. Now let's talk about the real, not the real, but everyone knows where you're from in regards to right now. Kountry Wayne skits. How did this happen that you was able to be on such a highly rated, not rated, but highly viewed viral show?
Young lady by the name of Sydney. She used to cast me for a lot of music videos. She has SK Casting. she used to definitely shout out to Sydney, man. She used to catch me for a lot of videos, and one day she always told me, I guess you have a lot of talent that you book when you're in that position, and sometimes you just see something in some of them, in the way that they move, and the way that they act, and the way they really want a bigger picture versus like just doing this right now for whatever it's worth. And she kept saying, like, yeah, I'm gonna get you something bigger. I wanna book you for something. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna get you something. And so she hit me up one night. She was like, hey, Kountry Wayne, them man, they're looking for a guy to play Erica's baby daddy. That's how we said baby daddy. and she's like, y'all want to send my stuff over to him. Send your stuff over to him. Are you interested? And I'm like, oh yeah, for sure. Send it over to him, please. I appreciate it. They sent my stuff over. Wayne them, they liked me. I went on. I think I was really supposed to be on there for a few skits. And something happened. They liked my vibe on set. And Wayne had this idea after I did a few skits, because he was like he wanted to bring me back. That's when he made me his bodyguard. And so after making me his bodyguard, we did that whole series, that whole part of the series. He started branching out with different producers at the time. And so that's when Erica became a producer. And I was already playing her baby daddy. So when she became a producer, she hit me up and was like, hey, I'm a producer now, so I want to carry on the storyline. Would you be, interested in still, working? I was like, absolutely. So fast forward now, I'm still on the skits.
That's amazing. And I'm pretty sure you probably heard it all the time, but I just gotta tell from my story, man. But okay. I've been following Kountry Wayne skits for years. And okay. I remember when it was at a point where you were hoping that he would have a new skit a day. You know what I'm saying? Because it was times where he may have had 1 or 2 skits a day. But now, as you know, he can put out 30 skits in a day. And I used to have to wait until skits came out. But now I'm a whole month and a half behind. But I love it because when I have that free time, I'm able just to go episode to episode and catch up. I don't miss an episode. Which goes back to the man himself, Kountry Wayne. Just from your experience, because I feel to me, yes, he's getting his shine, he's getting his flowers, that's well deserved. But it's something that he's doing that's amazing to me, that has inspired me to do even more, is that he's so unselfish. And he could have easily just kept more things to him or just to his inner circle, his brothers, or the whole nine. But as you just said, and this is what I brought up to Jason, who I had on the show a few weeks ago, Jason Little, who's now part of a few scenes with you and Lawrence and Erica. But in regards to Kountry Wayne, he's trusting other people to continue to expand on what he's doing. And also he's putting money in people's pockets as well. So talk about the impact that he has made for you and what you've seen in others that he's doing that maybe is not being talked about enough. But I've seen it, I respect it, and I love it, because outside of what I'm doing right now with Smoooth Conversations, for the last 8 years, I have a actual sports talk show called The Platform Sports Talk Show. So everyone follow The Platform Sports Talk Show. But I have an all ladies panel, I have an all men's panel, then I have a mixture called The Main Show. But I love to be able to put others on and give them the opportunity to shine and show their passion. And that's what I'm also been seeing with Kountry Wayne, is that he's doing that same thing for others where he didn't have to. But as the logo says, Jesus is popping. And I love how he uses that message, but then he also acts on it by allowing his talent to go to others like yourself and everyone else. So talk about from your experience the impact that Kountry Wayne has had with yourself and others.
Man, well, personally, starting with myself, it changed my life completely. Man, it changed my life completely. I, being once again wanting to be an entertainer, and it's like so many levels of entertainment, and you always want to. Everybody's like, man, like I want to get on this show. I want to get my breakthrough, whatever. But you never know in what form it's going to come in. And God sent it in the form of Kountry Wayne and in the form of skits. Those particular skits have me to the point now where it's like I can't go nowhere without having a conversation about the skits or somebody wanting to take a picture. So when you're talking about notoriety, it's changed my life completely as far as notoriety. I pretty much ride around with my windows up now because I've been caught in traffic so many times. And it's, between the financial aspect of it, everything has changed big time. And like you said, Wayne is such a man, he's a real giving person because he didn't have to share a lot of this platform and a lot of his blessings with as many people as he's doing it, but he's giving so many people opportunities. He's giving so many people putting money in people's pockets. He's really giving people a livelihood from doing what it is that they want to do. And I salute him, man. I thank him for forever. I thank him for forever for that. One day we were talking, he was just like, man, I don't even like for people to tell me thank you. He wasn't talking to me per se, but we were talking about something else. And he said that. And I was like, okay. He was like, yeah, I just like for him to show me, man. I said, okay, bet. I get that. And I understand what he means now. So, man, he's a very caring, he's a real genuine guy, man. He's a real stand-up guy.
And I had this conversation with Jason. And speaking of which, before I continue on, talk about how Jason Little has come into the skits and done his thing as he's representing St. Louis, man. Talk about his role in the skits and how he's been an asset to the Kountry Wayne skits.
Okay, yeah. Well, first off, Jason is a cool guy. Funny story. His dad was a fan of the skits. Is a fan of the skits. I'm sorry. I met his dad on the set of Miss Law's talk show that she just dropped not too long ago. This was maybe 2, let me see, maybe a year and a half, going on 2 years now. I met him and he has a cologne line, a cologne brand and everything. He gave it to me. He was like, yeah, man, I watched you on the skits and I see you this, that, and the third. He said, yeah, I'm a photographer as well. He said, man, I want to do a photo shoot with you if you don't mind, whatever, check out my page. Long story short, we ended up doing the photo shoot. And he was like, yeah, man, my son, he acts, as well and different things like that. So he's showing me Jason's photos at the time. I said, okay. He's like, yeah, man, my son, he's up in St. Louis right now. I said, yeah, that's dope. What all, we just had a conversation. Like, yeah, what all has he been in? This, that, and the third. He was just telling me, so I did the photo shoot. Man, a year and a half, almost 2 years later, his son is now on the same storyline as me. That's crazy. But yeah, Jason is so cool, man. He's really brought some authenticity to the skits. He's doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing. He's playing Lawrence's homeboy. So in the skits, I ain't too fond of him. Really, I ain't really fond of none of their homeboys.
Right.
But yeah, man, Jason is really a cool guy. He's come on. He's really serving his purpose.
Yeah. So once again, shouts out to him, man. If y'all didn't see the episode I had with him, it was an emotional conversation. Check it out. It was amazing. But now going back, I showed the photo earlier. You and Erica Pinkett. Talk about her being a producer. Talk about just her in general and everything that she's meant to you in regards to the skits.
Okay. Yeah, man. She is definitely an amazing producer, man. She is super cool. Like, she's been cool even before, being on the producer side of things. She really helps me out a lot on set. She'll tell me different things because she's been in the game for a while herself. and she's in a lot of different movies and shows and a lot of different things that she's been involved with the entertainment in general. So man, she's super cool. She is a we laugh, we chop it up all the time. Like I can text her right now and say something silly and she gonna laugh. But man, super cool. Big shouts out to Erica always.
And now for those who may not be tuned in, if not something wrong with you, but your wife talk about see, I can't even say her name yet because it's just crazy, but just talk about being a husband now in this role and being with this very talented actress who's been holding things down, doing amazing things.
Yeah, Sarah is so crazy, man. Sarah is super cool. Sarah is like, someone who now she's turned, going from just a co-star or whatever you want to say, to being a real friend. That's my dog. Sarah is my dog for real. Like we have conversations like off screen a lot. Like we laugh, we joke. She is very motherly in real life. She is like so nourishing. It's like if you have a cough or a cold, she's gonna have something for it. You got a scratch, she's gonna have something for it. Your car broke down, she's gonna have something for it. She's one of those type of people who just has everything, and you wonder why do you even have this? But she's one of those people. But she's super cool. She helps me out a lot. Just from like the acting standpoint, and we do what we can do to make it work. And we had to do a lot of work on our chemistry as well, because at first the chemistry wasn't the best. But now it's more so like everybody thinks we're married for real. And I'm just like, nah, we're not. We're not married for real. But people really think that though. People really think that. And then we do a lot of behind the scenes videos just on the side too, just joking around or playing around. So that really makes people think that we're married for real. But man, big shout out to Sarah. She is an amazing person with an amazing personality.
And with you also playing a role of a father for Jada, has that helped you in regards to when that time comes, you being an actual father?
In a sense, because I can foresee now, probably just from even those moments of filming, I can see how it would kind of be to have a daughter, and I really would have a soft spot for her. If I had a daughter, she would probably get away with pretty much anything. So whoever the mother of my child is, she's gonna have to be the stern one when it comes to the daughter, because I see how I'm gonna be.
Yeah. Now, as an actor, and I know so many actresses, are being put in these situations, but when you're having love scenes, and let's say the actress may have a husband, how is a boyfriend? Talk about how that relationship is with that significant other's boyfriend or husband, knowing that you're about to have a certain role or do this or do that. Talk about that from your viewpoint.
Well, I can't really speak for anybody else, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna get my money. So if their boyfriend is all right with it, I'm good with it. That's between them. Like seriously, like that's between them. If your boyfriend is not okay with it, then maybe you shouldn't be in this position or with that person. But I personally can't do nothing about that. I'm here to do my job. So whatever you have going on the outside, that's up to you to take care of before we have to do our scene or before you agree to do it.
Yeah, so that's pretty much a talk that Kountry Wayne. Now, with that being said, because I know that he has Erica doing this. I know Mike Bless is doing his whole thing. There's so many different productions going on. It has expanded so much. So do you have any type of relationship with others that's part of the family, or because it's so wide and it's like even you got Frank and Cho that be in Florida, whatever. So do you have relationships with other actors and actresses as well that may not be strictly in Atlanta, or because there's just so many different storylines in the show?
I'm cool with a lot of people. Like I have now, mind you, I haven't met every single person, but a lot of those people, they've been in entertainment for a long time, and we've crossed paths. A lot of us have crossed paths before. Some of us haven't, but even from everybody who I've met and know, super cool, man. We converse, we chop it up, we laugh, and then on top of that, now I have a relationship with them because after you've been on set with somebody for so long, it's just like working with a coworker for years and years and years. You're gonna 9 times out of 10 develop some relationship with those people. Now, some of them may last, some of them may not, but for the most part, man, we're like a family, especially when we're around each other. We're having a good time, we laughing, we chopping up, we speaking, we conversing. So yes, it's all love.
And how much of your day, just from behind the scene, I know you can't give everything out because people got to be stay tuned for this, stay tuned for that. But just how much of your day is consumed with doing Kountry Wayne skits?
If we do, let's say we film, let's say tomorrow, for instance, my particular storyline, my particular day will be consumed of, I'll say this. It depends. I'll say this. No one day is the same. Like no one particular day is the same. So, we have some days that may be longer than others. Some days may be shorter than others. It all depends on how many skits that we are intending to get done on any given day.
And I brought this up and asked Jason this, and I'm going to ask you, it seems to me, especially for those who watch it, I say it's the best thing out there, whether it's a reality show, whether it's sitcoms on TV. Kountry Wayne skits, truly is the best thing that is out there. But I feel behind that there is a message. Do you feel like there is a certain message that he wants to make sure that is getting out there to the people, no matter if it's a cheating thing, no matter if it's going through drugs, drug abuse, if it's going through marriage issues, like we see with Amber and Anthony and the whole Shayla thing. There's so many different avenues, but do you feel that there is a reason behind each skit that y'all do?
Well, yeah. There's there are real life meanings behind it, because a lot of it is real life. And I saw some comments where people will say, "Yeah, Jesus ain't popping in these skits no more." Yada yada. Okay, well, Jesus popping is a real life slogan that Wayne has. You know what I'm saying? That's the real deal thing. Jesus is popping, but people have to think this is entertainment. But although it's entertainment derives from real life a lot of times. Yeah. So people saying Jesus ain't popping, but yeah, we showing you real life. Okay, if Jesus ain't popping, what if this same thing probably nothing went on in your family? So you telling me if such and such, the one who you love the most, has gone through this same thing, Jesus ain't popping in them? So it's just like I don't quite understand it. So it definitely has a lot of meaning to it, because a lot of times when I go live on TikTok and different platforms now, or when I'm talking to different people, they'll sit there and tell me like, "Oh my gosh, like, I recently went through something like this and this, that, and the third, yada, yada." So it's real life situations, which really has a meaning, which, like anything else, you never know who's going through that same thing, and you never know who it may help. And you never know who's a particular skit, even if it's funny, who that may help get through that day. So it's always some kind of underlying message or something to get across to help somebody.
And I totally agree, because there have been episodes that I would laugh my butt off, or I would even shed an actual tear, because I can relate to certain things that has happened. So that's why I will always advocate the Kountry Wayne skits, because there's so much meaning behind each skit. So it's amazing. Absolutely. And once again, shouts out to what you're doing and have been doing. I've seen the growth, like you said, from you being just a baby daddy to being security to now being a husband. So I love seeing that progress. So shouts out to you and for being on this show. I couldn't go on, but I wanted to ask you, what would you say now as the man that you are to this young man right here?
Oh man, it's crazy right now. I didn't even know where is that. That's on Facebook. Oh man, that guy, man. What would I say? Whew. I would say, man, exactly what you want to do is gonna happen. Just stay the course. And I would be giving myself some advice that I actually already follow without giving myself that advice. I would really, if I had to give myself just something to be cautious about, would be just think about everything 10 times before you do it. Do your research on everybody and everything that you do. That's what I would say.
That's amazing. And talk about this photo right here, this moment.
That was crazy. See, that was at Alabama State University. When I was a part of that modeling troupe, like we used to do a thing called like Runway Wednesday, where people would dress up in different stuff. I don't know what this theme was at the time, but that was early on. That was like so early on. They were still building up Alabama State at the time because you can see the construction in the back.
Right.
Man, it's like the new student union now. Well, not new anymore, but that's the student union now. Yeah, that was actually on a Runway Wednesday, and me, the girl in the middle, and the guy on the end, all of us were in that same modeling troupe. And the guy on the end, he's actually gone on to do what's his clothing line now? Humble Hustler. That's his clothing line. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, man, but he's had it in like Foot Locker and everything.
Okay.
So yeah, that was an interesting moment in time.
So I couldn't end the show without showing this because I had no idea that you were a Chippendale.
Okay. Well, see, that's the false information. See, that's how people take these clips. They take these clips and run with it. Next thing you know, DC from Kountry Wayne was a Chippendale.
Exactly.
No. You know what's crazy? That was at somebody. Once again, there was somebody's fashion show. Now the thing is, we all walked out with a girl who had on it was like a wedding type thing, but of course, sex sells. So they had on like a wedding type red dress theme or whatever the case may be. And so we just had on the red bow ties with like eye candy.
Yeah.
And it was really that particular part of the show was really showcasing the ladies.
That's what's up. So take away being the actor, take away the modeling, take away being on videos, the whole nine. Who is Darryl Chambers?
A little country boy from Valley, Alabama, who is very caring, who really still actually cares about people, no matter how society is right now. A person who prides himself on minding his business, staying to himself, and very ambitious. And someone who just loves to laugh and have a good time.
That's what's up, man. Well, once again, it's been a pleasure to have you on Smoooth Conversations, man. I told you we're gonna have a straight conversation, and
Absolutely.
that's exactly what we've been doing. So I truly appreciate you, brother. Did you have any special shout outs, any words of advice to everyone who's tuned in or listening right now?
Man, thank you for having me on the show, man. Man, it's such a pleasure to sit here and just have this smooth conversation with you. Man, for anybody, just keep going. I tell people that all the time. I know it sounds cliche, but it's real. But whatever it is that you want to do, continue to do it. Keep going and keep pressing. Don't let anybody tell you what you should or should not be doing because they tried that same thing with me. But guess what? A lot of people were laughing when I first started modeling, when I first started this whole entertainment thing, but they're not laughing no more. Now they're asking how can they get started. So keep doing what you want to do. Don't let nobody deter you at all.
I love it, man. Once again, thank you very much. Do me a favor after I play the ending of this show. Stay on. I want to do a quick little talk after the show. But everyone else, thanks for tuning in to Smoooth Conversations, where the conversations are always smooth. Scan the QR code for those watching right now. If you're listening, go to smoothproductions.com, smooth with 3 O's. Make sure y'all follow me all across social media. Go on YouTube, subscribe, click on that bell. Also, put in beatdistrictradio.com. Check out the website. We have so many things in store that we're doing right now and coming up in the community. So check it out. Also, download the app on Google Play and the App Store. Just put in Beat District Radio, BEAT, District Radio, and download the app and just enjoy and just look and stay tuned for everything that the station has in store. Once again, the only Black-owned St. Louis-based radio station hailing from Ferguson, Missouri, in the heart of Ferguson, Missouri, and broadcasting globally all over the world. And we just getting bigger and bigger and doing better and better things, y'all. And then lastly, I need everyone to go to eventbrite.com. In the searches, put in Girls for Life, GIRLZ, 4, the number 4, life, or scan the QR code if you're watching right now, or go to G4LSTL.org. The Back to School giveaway, Girls for Life celebrating 10 years. My wife's non-for-profit celebrating 10 years, y'all, of doing amazing things. And this event is for all the kids who are needing some back to school supplies. We got y'all. We're going to have school supplies, food, games, music, fun. Goes down August 10th from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. at North County Rec Center, right underneath the Leo Wilson shelter. So as soon as you pull up, you'll see a shelter. You'll see all kind of kids. You'll see an amazing thing going down. 2577 Redmond Road, St. Louis, Missouri, 63166. You'll see Gamers Island. You'll see Art by Kira. You'll see Mia's Trees. You'll see Beat District Radio, and of course G4L. So show love. Let's give back to the youth, and let's do amazing things. Everyone, thanks for tuning in. Smooth Conversations, where the conversations are always smooth.
What you have just experienced was brought to you by Smoooth Productions. Until next time, stay tuned and stay smooth.